Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Levi. Today we're going to be talking about something that no one else really talks about on YouTube because it's super boring, it doesn't get clicks, it's not fun to talk about, and it doesn't make a cool thumbnail. But this one thing is what makes a difference between people doing this as a hobby and people who run actual 6 to 7 figure per year land flipping businesses. And that thing is KPIs. So if you guys do not track your numbers, you do not have a business, you have a hobby. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Levi. I am co-owner of MMC Land. I buy and sell vacant land parcels. On top of that, we help beginners get their very first land deal, and we help moderately seasoned land investors scale their business as well. And so today, we're going to take a deep dive into KPIs and talk about something very boring, but it is something that will make or break your business. So let's start with why no one talks about KPIs. The reason no one talks about them is just because they don't get clicks and it's boring, right? Like, you guys are going to get bored watching this video. But the problem is when you only focus on the big wins, you miss out on what actually creates those deals. So land investing is not just about one deal that changes your life. It's about building predictable systems. It's about building a very strong framework. It's about knowing how your business runs, right? And predictable systems, guys, they run on numbers and data. If you're inconsistent, then your deal flow will be too, right? Some months you might crush it, and some months you might have no deals coming in. And so, guys, this is not luck. It's just KPIs and figuring out what you need to do better, right? And let's talk about how KPIs tell you exactly what's broken in your business. So if I go and I look at my KPIs, right, I can instantly tell if we are sending enough volume, if our response rate is down, if our texter is being super slow to respond, so we're not getting enough leads. I can know instantly if we need to maybe add more qualifying questions to our text outreach system. I know if I need to take them away. I know if we are not making enough offers. I know if our offer to contract ratio is low, etc. Right? Like, every stage of our business has a measurable number. And if one of those numbers drops, I know like exactly where the problem is in my business almost instantly. And so that's the problem in a lot of people's situation, is that it's not the business model itself that's bad, and it's not the strategy. It's probably not even the markets that you're choosing. It's just simply the fact that you don't track anything, so you don't know what you're doing wrong. And so I want to kind of share my wake-up call with this, because this happened to me pretty recently, right? Up until just a couple months ago, I was the same way. I never tracked my KPIs. You know, I had like ballpark numbers in my head for everything, but I wasn't tracking things weekly and every day. And now, don't get me wrong, like, I was still successful. We did like 30 deals last year, right? But, you know, here's the truth. I wasn't tracking like I should have, right? And I learned this from Clay Hepler, and it completely changed my business. And we were making money, but I didn't know where the real bottlenecks were that was preventing me from scaling even further. And so, like, for example, guys, if a month was slow, I would say to myself, oh, like, maybe I just got unlucky this month. Oh, maybe it's just because it's, you know, winter time, right? But I didn't know the actual reason why. I didn't know if it was me. I didn't know if it was my business partner. I don't know if it was a little bit of both of us, or if we just were getting unlucky. You don't know, right? And that's dangerous, because when you don't know your numbers, you guys are operating blindly. So that's the whole point that I'm trying to make here. Once I started tracking everything, it's like I actually felt like I was running an actual business. And that I wasn't just closing deals, right? And there's a big difference there. And this is especially important when you have employees, because if you have employees, you need to have some sort of way to have a bird's eye view on the business. And that way you're not just like feeling if something's wrong. Because when you have like a texter, you know, acquisitions manager, any sort of VA or employee in general, you can't manage off of feelings, and you need to have actual numbers to support what's wrong. So if our response time drops, right, I can look at exactly what stage of response time it is, whether it's like, speed to like replying to a text or speed to lead in terms of like contacting a qualified lead. I know who's to blame for that. And for example, like if we have a high amount of offers, but our contracts are low, I know that we have a negotiation problem and that our acquisition manager needs to get better, right? And instead of just like blindly blaming people and guessing, you know exactly what the problem is and who's responsible at each point in your business, right? And so when you guys can do that, that's when you have an actual business. And so guys, here are some things that you should be tracking. Every land flipping business should be tracking these things. At minimum, you should know the volume that you're doing per month, at week even. So that's text, mail, cold calls. You guys should know your response rates. You guys should know the amount of offers you made each week, each day, each month. You guys should know the amount of contracts signed. You guys should know your close rate per contract signed. You guys should know your average profit per deal. And you guys should know your cost per deal, cost per lead, stuff like that. If you guys know these numbers, you can literally reverse engineer your income and know exactly what you need to do to make however much amount of money you want, right? And so if you guys know you close a deal every 25,000 texts, it stops being emotional at that point and there's no guessing. You just increase volume until you can consistently do that enough times to make as much money as you want. But the brutal truth here, guys, is that most of you won't do it because it forces you to face reality and, it sucks. It's not fun and it's not motivating to look at your KPIs every day and find the time to actually track them, but you need to. If you're not setting enough volume, you'll see it right away. If you are slow to respond, you'll see it right away. And it removes excuses, but a lot of you guys probably won't do it anyway. Anyways, guys, this is the boring part of land investing that is super important that no one talks about. This is the thing that builds consistency in your business, and you guys can literally reverse engineer your business just tracking KPIs. So if you guys liked the video, make sure you guys actually like the video, comment anything you learned or any questions that you have, or feel free to DM me on Instagram. I answer all of my Instagram DMs, so feel free to do that. And of course, subscribe. I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day, and peace out.